welcome to Cop Talk Live, changing cop culture. I'm Dominic Izzo. I'm a retired police officer from up here in the Chicago area, and it's Friday night, and we're on patrol. Number one, let's do some housekeeping. We are excited to announce that we partner with Human Performance Team. I'm not going to sell you guys on any of this shit, right? Are you a dude? You over the age of 35? Get your testosterone checked. Get your hormone levels checked. It's as simple as that. I actually had my hormones checked for the first time when I was 39. Doctor had told me, hey, listen, your testosterone's at 140. I'm like, yeah, because it should be around 900. And yeah, I've been inconsistent with testosterone over the years, but now I am a proud consumer and member partner with the Human Performance Team. Go over to hp-trt.com. There's no excuse. Tired of the midsection fat you got around yourself? Tired of not sleeping well? You're tired of, and then you're like, you know what? I don't need to talk about this. If you're a guy and you're over the age of 40 and you have not had your hormones checked yet, 35 is kind of where you should be kind of looking at it. Something wrong with you. Use the code IZZO20 for a considerable, generous discount. It's as simple as that. So you go to this, you click over where it says contact page for those who are looking. And when it comes down here, you can call somebody and talk to them about it. You can type it on the information. How did you hear about us? Go IZZO20, type that in, and you're set. Simple as that. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Couple things that I want to clear up first is it's been one hell of a week. We have to talk about this for a second, and that's the hypocrisy of Brandon Tatum. And I don't want to be harping on him that much, but I want to get this out of the way at the beginning. I don't respect the man. I don't. For whatever reason that he has where he's playing both sides of the field, I don't know what his deal is anymore. I don't know if he's... Excuse me, do I have a drive-by or something? I got to make sure Brandon Tatum didn't show up at my door. Nope, nobody showed up for me. That's one of the perks of having dogs. One of the things that I can't stand with Brandon Tatum is his disingenuous position when he does take on law enforcement, right? I've talked about this many times. Talk about his hypocrisy, his lack of character when it comes out, siding arbitrarily with law enforcement simply because that's what he does. And I wanted to reference the way that he still has that cop mentality. A lot of you accuse me of still having a cop mentality, and there's certain areas I do. I will justify shootings when I see them. A lot of you didn't like the shooting that I covered about 4 or 5 months ago with the 17-year-old who was autistic and he had a knife and the cops just showed right up and shot him on scene. And I broke that down extensively. I'll put a link to that video in the description here and why that was an extremely justified shooting. I've talked about other shootings that were justified. And there's a lot of times where, although I respect a lot of you who are so well constitutionally versed and so well just educated when it comes down to the government, our society, when it comes to cops, yes, we'll qualify this. So many of them do not know what they're doing. But if they were armed properly, no, that's a wrong question. If they applied properly the law on the street, I think that far more citizens would go, okay, I understand. So that's where we're going with this. What I can't stand is I will admit when there's some hypocritical things that I'm like, ooh, I see this now. Tatum hasn't let go of that yet. He hasn't let go of that yet. And what I can't stand is when he brings wording, semantics, law, all for his specific argument, which exposes his hypocrisy and why, A, he needs to get rid of officer out of his title. He is an absolute disgrace to any type of improvement when it comes to law enforcement relations. He is the worst representative of policing. He needs to be just completely eliminated from the discussion, and I have no respect for him. I want to review this. This is months ago at this point, right? The McNeil traffic stop in, was it Jacksonville, Florida? Young black man gets pulled over. The whole argument is he doesn't have his headlights on for inclement weather was the reason that they pulled him over. All of us broke this down. Every cop who pulled up broke the law because we only I think I saw one set of headlights on. It's the hypocrisy. People are just tired of it. Well, the cops will pull you over for this, but they're breaking the same law. Why is this? People are tired of that. The window was broken in when he simply was asking for a supervisor on scene, wanted to be explained why he was pulled over. To Tatum, it's completely comply or die. Those are his words. And he's not saying it is comply or will kill you, but comply or you could die. So I want to clarify that I understand what he's saying on that. But what I can't stand is the backwards boot swallowing. He doesn't lick the boots. He inhales them to just die on the hill. And as a man of faith, which he always mentions Christ in his videos, I mean, that's great. I follow Christ. He is my Lord and Savior. But I'm not going to be a hypocrite and have my pride meet it so that, no, cops can do no wrong. Cops can do no wrong. Tatum does all the time. I want to revisit this. This is a point where he was breaking the video down. And he's talking about the probable cause for it, right? We didn't get too much prior to this body camera footage. This is already in it. I will put the link to my breakdowns if you haven't seen it in the description of this video. So if you're watching on a replay, you can check them out. But I want to look at this together. And I want to talk about his wording, how Brandon Tatum will stretch the motherfucking law as far as he can. I mean, as paper thin as possible, that if you blow on it, it will just shatter to meet his narrative.
Why did you pull me over?
Step out of the vehicle.
Nah. Bro, what do they make these people? He said, why did you pull me over? The officer said, because you didn't have your headlights on in inclement weather. Now you can see the droplets of rain on his door, the droplets of rain on his windshield and his passenger side window. Why are you arguing with these officers that you didn't have your headlights on in inclement weather and arguing that it's not raining? It's rain on your car.
Now, I want to point this out. This is why this man is an absolute fucking scumbag. And he doesn't earn or deserve an ounce of respect, especially when it comes to law enforcement. I don't respect him. I don't like him as a human being. I think he's a hypocrite. And he's going to get more cops killed and more citizens killed with his title, with his level of expertise, of which he has none, and he's got to go. He should be completely banned. I'm all about free speech, but this man he's a danger to American citizens and police officers. So remember, it's raining and it's inclement weather. Now, the first thing, many of you pointed this out at the time, there's no specific statute for inclement weather. And the definition of inclement weather, if you look it up, it's really hazardous weather, severe weather. Well, as we saw in that video, there was no wind blowing around. There wasn't the door was being blown off the hinges. There was no inclement weather. So when we go to Florida state statutes, and I simply went to legstate.florida.us, 2025, and this is when occurred in this, motor vehicle titles, when headlamps or headlights, that's what they are required. 316.217.1, every vehicle upon a highway within this state, Florida, shall display headlighted lamps and illuminating devices as herein respectively required for different classes of vehicles, subject to exceptions with respect to parked vehicles under the following conditions. Any time from sunset to sunrise, including twilight hours. Twilight hours shall mean any time between sunset and full night, between full night and sunrise. Now, number one, that's a little subjective. I believe the time of this stop, if we actually look at it, was 18 hours. So that's 4:18 in the afternoon. You could be arguing it's approaching twilight, but it's not twilight yet. So it doesn't fit the statute, right, for probable cause. B, during any rain, smoke, or fog. Any rain, smoke, or fog. So again, when we get back to that, any, you are broadening the powers and the authority of the cop by saying any. There was no inclement weather. What there was, and there was no rain regardless. There was a time when it rained. But again, let me just, I want to use Tatum's argument. You can fit that as a cop. You can stretch that motherfucker as far as you want and say, I felt a drop of rain as a cop. And as Tatum just said, there was evidence of rain. Listen to him again.
And his passenger side window. Why are you arguing with these officers that you didn't have your headlights on in inclement weather and arguing that it's not raining?
Okay. Well, number one, as we all saw in the video, it was not raining. However, by the definition of the word any, and I really want you to hang on to this because this man needs to be crucified for his bullshit, proverbially. Any rain literally means if I got out of the car as a cop and I can articulate it, yes, I felt 2 drops of rain on me. That literally fits the definition of any. No if, no ands, no buts. 100% that meets the state definition of probable cause, and it's bullshit. It is bullshit, and it gives so much power to the police. That probable cause, now I've said in my other videos, there was no probable cause for the police officers to pull them over if it fits inclement weather. Now again, I don't see any active raindrops on this video, but how the statute reads, you saw it. Any rain. Literally one fucking drop from the heavens onto an officer. Ooh, look, it just dropped on my forearm. Fits the definition of any rain. So the stop was lawful. Stop was lawful. We can, even though you know that shit's going to get thrown out of court, it's going to go to that edge. It is such a bullshit. It fits the definition. And if you listen to Tatum, listen to him again. I want to get his words out because remember, he's Officer Brandon Tatum. Token Tatum for the conservatives, who is the end-all be-all of black conservative Americanism, who completely is an authority on law enforcement because he's got officer in his title.
Weather. Now you can see the droplets of rain on his door, the droplets of rain on his windshield and his passenger side window. Why are you arguing with these officers that you didn't have your headlights on in inclement weather and arguing that it's not raining? It's rain on your car. And he says, no. He said, the officer says, this is why I pull you over. No, it's not. You don't have to. No, it's not. Well, sir, okay. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you why I pulled you over. You have your driver's license? No, I'm not giving you your driver's license registration.
All right. So according to Brandon Tatum, don't you dare. If it's this black and white and it's this cut and dry, there is no discussion whatsoever about what the crime is. So I will concede from the comments to the videos that I did when I broke down this traffic stop. And I said there was no probable cause and it makes it an unconstitutional stop. I said that. It's in perpetuity up online. I'm not removing the video. I will admit, based on the statute for Florida law and the literal definition, I was wrong. How can I not be wrong? Literally, all the cop needs to say is, I felt a drop of rain, and it fits the definition. I'm beating this to death for a specific reason because Brandon Tatum told you, don't argue. It's what the law is. Comply or die. I want to fast forward and move forward to Tatum. Now, I can't play the video because I got dinged, and I'm not going to risk the chance again of the college game that we saw the Texas State Trooper bump into the 2 college football players, South Carolina and Texas, and I broke that video down. Again, the link will be in the description of this video. It was intentional. You saw the body mechanics. You saw the motion. You saw everybody. Well, he was trying to get him out of the tunnel. There was no effort whatsoever by the cop to speak to these football players, sans him purposefully knocking into them both, making physical contact, provoking them. He didn't bump back when he walked in. He shoved in, lifted both elbows. It was intentional. After Tatum observed it, I want you to listen to what his words were.
Should the deputy have done, the trooper have done that, it's a little excessive, right? But all he was doing, probably mad at them winning the game. He's A&M, and this guy's in the tunnel celebrating. Now he had to go in there and tell him to get out of the tunnel. So he intentionally, in my opinion, bumped into him and said, get out the tunnel.
I want to back that up. I want to back that up again.
The trooper have done that. It's a little excessive, right?
Okay, so number one, by Tatum's own mouth, excessive is what he said. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a little excessive and 10 being excessive, and we're talking about cops, so force, excessive, you still, if I go to a pool, swimming pool, and I jump all in, I'm going to get wet. If I go to a swimming pool and I dip my toe in the pool, I'm still getting wet. A part of my body is getting, by definition of that fucking word, I am getting wet. So by Tatum's definition, it wasn't 0 on the scale of excessive. It was between 1 and 10. It literally fits excessive. Now, Tatum gives the cop a pass. I understand. It's a nothing burger, he says. Go ahead and watch his breakdown on it. It's excessive. He literally said the cop stuff is excessive. So we have that number one. Excessive force was used. But let's continue.
Right. But all he was doing, probably mad at them winning the game. He's A&M, and this guy's in the tunnel celebrating. Now he had to go in there and tell him to get out of the tunnel.
So now, forget when we go back with the Florida stop, and you have a black teen, black young man, who is seen. Now, I'm not condoning black behavior, because if you see my content, I'm very critical of the subculture from within the black community who is completely void of impulse control and massively is attributing to the criminal violence we have in America. But this was a black man who, I can't speak to his state of mind. I can't tell you that perhaps he's getting tired of seeing nonstop repetitive Facebook and YouTube videos of cops beating the shit out of and shooting black people. Maybe he's tired of it. And maybe he's so scared shitless, he says, I'm not coming out of the car. I'm not getting falsely arrested. Would you please get me a supervisor? I don't know his state of mind. But in this video, Tatum says he understands the state of mind of the trooper. It's a Texas state trooper. Therefore, since Texas was losing the football game, it's acceptable. It's acceptable that the trooper lose his composure, throws professionalism out the window, and he acts a fool being all emotional. It's not acceptable if you're a black man or woman in America and you've got this suspicion that police commit violence against your culture, because that's what the media feeds you all the time, and it's backed up by nonstop repetitive fucking videos of cops who can't control themselves. And then that's not acceptable. It doesn't work for Tatum. Doesn't work for Tatum because there was goddamn rain. And because there was visible drops of rain that fit the definition of inclement weather, which it didn't, but it did fit the state statute for Florida's probable cause law to pull a car over without using headlights, even though we saw hypocrisy where the cops didn't have the headlights on. So once again, they could break the law. But remember, it's excessive. It's a little excessive according to Brandon. You know, there was a woman that's probably out there, and if she got raped, Tatum would go, well, he only stuck it in for a second. So she got a little raped. That's his mindset. Just keep that in mind.
So he intentionally, in my opinion, bumped into him and said, get out the tunnel.
Okay, so let's look at that for a second. Now you have intention, which is so important when it comes to crimes, with the elements of the offense. When we go to assault in Texas, the Texas state law for assault, Title V, offenses against the person. In Illinois, we have two. We have assault and we have battery. Assault is any subject is in reasonable apprehension of receiving a battery. So that means if I walk up to somebody and I go, I'm going to kick your ass, that's assault. I didn't touch him, but I said, I'm going to kick your ass. I cocked a fist. You're going, ooh, I'm in reasonable apprehension. You're about to batter me. When it comes to battery, it's any physical contact of an insulting or provoking nature. That's Illinois. That's Illinois. So if I just poke you in the chest and go, you're a piece of shit, that is battery. That literally fits the definition of battery. In Texas, let's take a look. Section 22-01, assault. A person commits an offense if the person, 1, intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly causes bodily injury to another, including the person's spouse. No, doesn't fit. Number 2, intentionally or knowingly threatens another with imminent bodily injury, including the person's spouse. At no time, I don't know, I couldn't read what the cop's mouth said. Did he say, I'm going to kick your ass, boy? I have no idea. No, he didn't. That doesn't fit either. Number 3, intentionally or knowingly causes physical contact with another when the person knows or should reasonably believe that other will regard the contact as offensive or provocative. The contact as offensive or provocative. When it comes to Tatum, I want to listen to his words again because it comes out of his own mouth.
Trooper have done that. It's a little excessive, right? But all he was doing, probably mad at them winning the game. He's A&M, and this guy's in a tunnel celebrating. Now he had to go in there and tell him to get out of the tunnel. So he intentionally, in my opinion, bumped into him and said, get out the tunnel. It wasn't that he was going somewhere and they inadvertently bumped into each other and then he's cussing at the kid. That's not what happened. Now you can be mad at the trooper for doing that. I understand it's football. I understand you in the state of Texas. I understand the Aggies the culture there, they ain't playing with you. That's how I see it. And it's a nothing burger. It's football, it's Aggie land, and you whooping them. And the person that's working the game bumps into you.
This man is a fucking scumbag. He is a fucking scumbag. So again, just for all of you out there who still support Brandon Tatum, he just admitted that if you're a black person, whatever the case is, and you have reasonable apprehension for your fear, you're terrified of your safety when it comes to cops, 5 cops come and pull up on you, point guns at you, which they did, break your window, and you passively just sit there, you don't fucking resist whatsoever, you should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And your probable cause for being pulled over is you could have a drop. You could just come from a car wash. And if a cop can look at that, according to Brandon Tatum, and you see the droplets of water on the car, that's enough probable cause to pull you over. The law is so well written that there is nothing you can do on driving on a state roadway that cops can't pull you over. And Tatum will take that law and stretch it as far as possible to make sure you, the citizen, are fucked over. And you saw. Doesn't matter what your intention was. That kid's intention wasn't to hurt the police, wasn't to resist the police. His intention was, I need a supervisor because A, I don't understand. B, I'm in fear for my safety. I see blacks shot by the cops all the time. Blacks have the shit beat out of by the cops all the time. I don't feel safe. But when you're a grown adult football fan and you happen to be a police officer paid by the state and you're a government employee, it's okay. You lose your shit and you commit an assault in that state on another subject. It may be a little excessive, but it's a nothing burger. It's a nothing burger. If this was the state of Illinois, I know for a fact, and you were in a bar and you assaulted somebody, right? You're a citizen. You go up to the bar and your football team's losing. You go, motherfucker, I'm going to kick your ass. And I show up on scene. I take the report. I get all the information. And I find out you're armed. It's aggravated assault now. Aggravated assault. So not only did you have clear-cut fucking evidence of the cop willfully and intentionally causing contact that was offensive and provoking. There was no doubt. It's clear as day. It is 100 times more clear than any evidence of that probable cause of rain that we saw when Brandon Tatum is just swearing up and down it was inclement weather. This man is he's literally uneducated. He is a stupid, stupid human being. You saw no evidence of rain other than there was droplets of water on the car. There was no active rain, nothing. But again, if a bird pissed on him and he thought it was rain, he could tie it to the droplets of the car, that's enough probable cause. That's how the fucking state works. That's the law. But when it comes to the proof and it's a cop, it's a nothing burger. He understands it. Brandon Tatum understands how cops can abuse people, can literally assault them, can beat the shit out of them if he wants to, if your football team's losing, and it's completely acceptable. This man, there's something inherently wrong with him mentally. He has massive issues. And in my personal opinion, Brandon Tatum has been selected by the powers that be, whatever side you want to be on, conservative or liberal. I don't care. I think they're both fucked in the head. I truly think that Tatum has been groomed to get you to the point as a conservative, you like how he calls out black criminals. You like how he supports your blue, back the blue. And you're going to willfully jump in line when he says, no, firearms are dangerous in America. To stop school shootings, to stop everything else, we're going to give up our firearms and we're going to turn them right over to the cops because it's how you back the blue and it's patriotic. And the bootlickers go, yeah, Brandon Tatum said so. 100% I want to do this. This is what I think this man is going. He is going to be twisting your mind to believe that as Officer Brandon Tatum, you need to believe everything he says. Look at how he speaks out of both sides of his mouth, how he twists definitions, how he downplays excessive force used by the police, how he downplays criminal activity by the police, how he absolutely makes it so all you have to do is sneeze as a fucking citizen and you should have the shit beat out of you for even remotely passively resisting. This man is a cancer. He is vile, and I don't have an ounce of fucking respect for him, and I can't wait till he's irrelevant. It's as simple as that. This man needs to go away. I need to look at other things. Check you guys over on the chat. Good to see you. Bob Glenn, and they wonder why people want to abolish the police. 100%. 100%. Space Miner, evening, y'all. Hello from New Mexico. How are you? Stop resisting Brandon, soften him up. Tatum is a clown. He's an absolutely disgusting human being. I don't have an ounce of respect for him at all. Stephen Noller, cops need estrogen, maybe counteracted that testosterone. Somebody chill. No, they actually need testosterone. If you see how low, go get your levels checked. If you actually see how you operate when your testosterone is normal, you're a level-headed human being where shit doesn't bother you half as much. So, no, I endorse every male and female to go get theirs checked as well. I got to talk about this, and phones will be open in a minute. Somebody tagged me in this a million times, and I zoomed in on it to take a look. I can't play the audio. It's Stephanie Mills. I never knew love like this before. A fantastic friggin' 70s song. And this is the sheriff of DeKalb County. And her whole crew's dancing and dancing and dancing. And whatever, PR stunt. But if you look in the background on your own, you could pause it. This guy right here is the saint of this video. The entire time, if you watch him, and I'll back up. It's only 50 seconds. Watch on your left-hand side here. This poor guy is so sick of this department and probably her shit. And he's like, I'm not doing anything. And he's just side-eyeing these fucking clowns the entire time he's doing this. And it's such a diverse crowd, man. Look at all the white faces we have in this. I don't know if the sheriff of DeKalb said, hey, this is for black people only. Or if, you know, the qualified white candidates who filled out for these positions, their application just got thrown in the trash for DEI purposes. But yeah, here we go. Let's, I don't know what. This guy's having none of it. Unbelievable. The shit show clown crap that we have here. And this is what we have in America here today. A bunch of females who I hope are all admin and don't do anything. A female sheriff who's probably destroying the county. And this guy's face in the background who is so sick and tired of this crap. Yeah, DeKalb County, enough said, Master Billfold. Dude monkey, why do we still have sheriffs? I don't know. I think we need them. I think we need them to step up to the plate and do their job. Sadly, we have too many cowboy sheriffs. Like, what's his name? Maraschino or whatever in Lee County apparently is getting investigated. I have to look into that for the week. Also, don't forget, join me on Sunday nights. We do a roll call on Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific, where we go over the stories that I'm going to cover for the week, right? And in order to do that, we don't broadcast that. It's all just a meeting that we do for those who are involved in it. You have to join and become a member on either Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. Both of those links are in the description. You just join up, and you join me on Sundays and we all go over the stories. A lot of you are sending me stuff that you want me to look at, and I'm really honored that you want me to do. But the amount of people hundreds of you send me, look into this and look into this, look into this, look into this. Your support is needed. This is work, and it's a ton of work. If you enjoy the fact I'm exposing bad cops, if I'm exposing corrupt law enforcement, if I'm exposing people like Brandon Tatum, I need your support. Absolutely share the videos. Tell people about Cop Talk Live. Share the website. Go ahead, and you want to become a member. You don't want to. Patreon or buy me a coffee is a perfect way to get involved. Jerry Worms in the chat. Okay, I saw that. Sergeant Eric from Two Cops, One Donut. What's going on? Get a rope. You are not tough. I don't know who you're talking about. I am tough. I'm the toughest motherfucker here right now. I am. Mr. Billful, Brandon Tatum will be out of the public sphere in a few years when they find someone to step and fetch. They do. Yeah, Kyle Shreve, he's a bootlicker, corrupt to the core. I don't have an ounce of respect for him. I think he's an absolutely disgusting human being. I really do. Now, that being said, I want to get to this in a second. Well, I'm going to get to this first. Somebody played this video. Nicole, and this is kind of, it has something to do with law enforcement, but at the same time, it's got a place, and I'm just opening for discussion. Nicole Staples, 44, teacher at Cottage Hill Christian Academy in Mobile, Alabama, has been arrested on charges of willful abuse of a child under 18 and, as a viral video surfaced showing her striking a young boy more than 20 times with the belt, yelling obscenities, and physically manhandling by his hair. I don't know if I'm going to play this whole thing because it'll probably get me dinged for the 18 and over, so I'm just going to play a section of it, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents.
No, you're not fucking sorry. Because if you were fucking sorry, then you would do this stupid shit to begin with. You would make extra work on everybody else in this house because you won't clean up after yourself.
Oh, she's got him by the face? Now, I did watch this video, and she whips him with the belt, and I'm going to tell you flat out, I don't have a fucking problem with it. Not one damn problem with it. She's got him by the face, grabs him by the hair, whips him 20 times. Number one, this kid has got to be, he's bigger. So let me tell you from personal experience. Now, I'm Italian-American. I grew up second-generation mother. My mother never broke the 5 feet tall threshold. My uncles on her side were 6'2". My uncles on my father's side, 6'2". My dad used to be 6'2" at his height. He's shrinking now. My father never laid a hand on us. He was a big man. He had bear paws, and he never, ever fucking touched us. My mother was the disciplinary. That woman beat the shit out of us. Grabbing by the face, that was 2:00 in the afternoon. Hair pulling, rip you up off the floor, that was Monday through Saturday. The belt, the spoon, the wooden spoon. I love how every Italian out there, I got the wooden spoon. The wooden spoon was a joke. You got the wooden spoon, it was a mercy. Because the shoe, the heel from the shoe, you got it thrown at you, you got it whipped on you. The wooden spoon was nothing. The belt, sure. And the 5-star, I didn't get backhanded. We got open hand fucking wound up cracked. We got beat. I was literally terrified. I did not have a good relationship with my mother. I didn't. She's dead. And my life is, I've said this a million times, my life is very, very much stress-free with her gone. And during my time, I had a relationship with her, but there was no love. There was never a kind word growing up in my household. No words of affirmation, no support. But I asked her, and we did. We got myself and my sister was born after me. We got it. When the third kid came along, no, she was literally babied. My mother was very hands off after that point. But we were also growing older, and I approached my mother when I was 30s, and I said, I got to ask you, you beat the shit out of us. What was that all about? And she had said, that's how I was raised. Her mother, her mother was worse than she was. And she said that she was the shield for the baby brother. And she took the beatings for the brother that was older than her. So Johnny was the asshole. Johnny got my mother in trouble. My mother took the beatings. And to shield Jimmy, my mother took the beatings. And my mother said, she goes, I never wanted my children to depend on anyone. I wanted very, very disciplined, high-functioning children who did not rely on anybody, were not codependent. I mean, she attained her goal because of her harshness. It just hardened me up for life. It absolutely made me disciplined and all that. But this is where the generations after that got really soft. I didn't see this in this video as excessive. And when you watch it,
because you don't do what you're supposed to do. Do you understand me? Ow, ow.
I don't have a fucking problem with this. This kid is probably so out of control, doesn't do what he's told, and he's in a position, if he's really hating it, he's resisting. He's pulling, and I'm going to tell you flat out, if any of you ever tried to handcuff a juvenile, in Illinois, the age you can put somebody in handcuffs is 10 years old. I had to put a kid in handcuffs once at the elementary school who was just out of control in the principal's office. That was exhausting. It was exhausting. Kid was fighting me he was fighting me worse than adults do, and it took me a good probably 60, 70 seconds to put him in handcuffs. That's an eternity. So this kid could resist if he wants to. Plus, it's a woman really beating you with how much emphasis and force. If this was a man doing it, different story. So I saw this, and it's like, why is the state, why are we still getting involved in this? The kid's probably got food every day of the week, clean clothes, roof over his head, doesn't sleep chained to a radiator, is in a very nice home, all this shit, and because he can't function in society and mom is going to physically discipline him, cops arrest her. The Child Protective Services in America is the biggest fucking joke on the planet. I know some of you think this is excessive. Again, I did play this. I don't give a shit, man. Tan that kid's hide. I don't care if he doesn't sit for a week. It's classical conditioning. And the fact, this woman, I actually praise her and I support her, because if she doesn't do this shit, these are the kids that when they turn 16, 17, and they're not out of the house yet, they have to stay there. They're the ones that cops show up and they're out of control and they think they could do anything. And the parents are like, he just told me to fuck myself and he's fighting with my husband. Those are the kids that we have to show up and there's not a damn thing we can do with them. Unless you see visible marks on a parent, you can't take them to juvie. We had Depke out here in Lake County, and they pump them back out in the system. DCFS comes out, evaluates them, blames the parents. The fact that the state and police have gotten involved in this shit pisses me off to no avail, because how many good parents, I'm not going to lie, I'm not a father, but I'm going to tell you, if my wife had kids and she chose the discipline, I would be watching and I would allow it to happen and go, that's okay, we're good. I would monitor it, but there's not a damn way in hell that if she felt that there was a point where the child, especially boys, especially males, that you're growing up to function in society, you don't classically condition them to function properly. You are asking for juveniles who become criminals. Again, I saw this. You can find it up online. 100%, man, I support this woman. I didn't see a damn thing she did as excessive. She's standing there. She doesn't have any leverage to whip. So the fact that she got arrested for this, I think, is a load of shit. 708-982-0974. 708-982-0974. Phones are open. I want to look at one more video. Let me see if somebody could call. What? I say, oh, geez. Well, I know I'm funny, man. You know, I appreciate that. Thanks, 623. All right, one last. Master Billfold. Let me pull this up so you guys could see this, because I do have the brilliant comment section here for you. Master Billfold says, I had battles with CPS until I went down there and scared them with an attorney. Yeah, Department of Child Family Services, they're state funded, and I think I found this out a while ago. It's like there's a certain amount of dollars they get for children in the system. So you literally have to think about this for a second. Let's just say they get $3,000 to help with the process of a child in the system. It's just like anything else the states do, right? Like when the lockdowns happened and that PPE stuff was coming on and the states were getting funded for it, but they were misusing the funds. It's everywhere. It's everywhere in every function of government spending. So let's say you get Johnny in the system, you get $3,000 for Johnny being in the system, pump Johnny back out. You know, maybe that costs you, maybe you got $2,900 left over and you're going to spend that where you need to spend it. In other words, it's more profitable for Child Protective Services to have children in the system, considering the fact they get paid by the head or state supported by it. It's a complete fucking sausage factory for children. NEVA 2013, CPS shows up and says, you can't physically punish your kids anymore. I know. 100% I know. I used to sit there and I used to go and parents would say, I can't discipline because they'll call you. And I always look at the kids and go, call us. Watch how fast we side with your parents. All the time. Bruh. Fuck you, Izzo. Police are going to do what they want anyways. We know that. Sucks. It has to change. It has to change. Yes, tax-funded kidnapping. Salty Grampy. Yep, 100%. Stephen Kohler says, smack yourself, silly Billy. Granted that sometimes works. Oh, my God, it happens. Ms. Bilfold, they pulled my son out of class. Why don't you call in, Mr. Bilfold? Very curious to hear what you have to say. 708-982-0974. 708-982-0974. Let me go back a bit. Again, do not forget to join us on Sunday if you want. Again, we're going to be talking over all the cases that you want me to look and investigate for the week. So I want people giving inputs. I want what's passionate to you. I enjoy picking them, but again, I want more of a community and a culture involved. So again, you become a member, Patreon, or buy me a coffee, and you can wind up getting involved in that. I'm missing calls here. No. Hey. We don't know yes, Kevin K. We don't know the history of the kid. What did he do? Dude, what if the kid beat the shit out of the neighbor? What if the kid killed the neighbor's cat? I don't friggin' know. 100%. It's just like that. It's a blanket definition. I'm so tired of people enforcing, and I'm tired of cops being the arm of the state that really doesn't. What do you call it? Side with parents. Hang on a second. Why are you not involved here? Hang on. I got to get you plugged in properly. Why is this not? Lou. Hang on there, 7. This is. We always have technical difficulties on the program here. So I would like an intern. If one of you wants to work for the show, would be great and help us out. I would appreciate that, because for me to run a 3-ring circus is pretty. Why is my Bluetooth isn't functioning. We'll figure this one out. There we go. I'll get the Bluetooth working.
Izzo.
Hey, sorry, my Bluetooth isn't working. What's going on? What do you got to say?
Oh, nothing. I guess you were wondering about what happened with CPS and my kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what happened. I went through a battle with them. I was a divorced single father with full custody of my kids. I made the mistake of trying to date a gal, and when I broke it off with her, she decided to call CPS on me. Another time, my neighbor, lived upstairs. Her boyfriend was beating the shit out of her, so I went upstairs and drug him downstairs and sent him on his way. He called CPS on me, so they kept stacking it. One day, they come by my house to come look in my cabinets and look for all my food, and I find out they pulled my son out of class to ask him all these really personal questions about what goes on in our home.
Yeah, how many guns do you have? Does your dad have guns in the house? Yeah.
So, yeah, are you asking me about guns?
No, that's what they say. You know, it's they're doing that at doctors' offices now too.
Oh,
so
yeah, they did all that stuff.
Yep.
They did every single one of those. They asked him so many questions my sons didn't understand. That's how I found out. They didn't call me. School didn't tell me. My son told me because he didn't know what was going on. So they basically were trying to give me a hell of a hard time. And when they tried to bully me, I told them straight up. I said, listen, if my son stabbed a kid in class and you wanted to do anything to him, you would have to deal with me. But you guys can think you can just talk to my child without my permission. And she laid it out, and she was correct. Yeah, we have different authority than the police. We don't have to ask your permission. We don't have to deal with you. So what I did was I ended up eventually moving and never giving them my address. They came after me for a 4th time, and they couldn't find me at the house that I had moved from and asked me where the hell I lived. I said, I'll come down there with my lawyer, and we can, talk about it, because you're not going to know where the hell I am. You people have no interest in what's right or wrong for my kids. You're just trying to use, authority. And my kids are the only thing that I have in this world, and I'll be damned if any of y'all will get them.
Yeah, it blows me away. They're just a number. They're literally just a number.
What scared me the most was how ignorant the CPS workers are of the law. They only get told what talking points.
Are you kidding me? Those CPS workers
go right after them.
They are the most arrogant fucks on the planet. Anytime we went to back them up on a call, they're worse than cops were. They're like, we're coming in. Blah, blah, blah. They are so rude. I've never seen one with compassion. I've never seen one give a shit. And I've really never seen one do their job either. Anytime I would, because we're mandated reporters, right? So you got to say, hey, I got this case. Okay, cool. And you never hear anything back from it. It's like, I don't have a damn good experience with DCFS out here in Illinois.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think you hit the nail on the head. They are given such incredible leeway with what they're allowed to do in the name of child safety. It's almost like what officers get to do with officer safety. They can use almost anything, constitutional or not, and get around it by saying, well, we're doing this for the interest of the child. So when you have a community of workers like that who are given carte blanche to do whatever they want and not have to tell the parents, because the parents could be the dirty abusers. So now they've created this thing where they step in and they try, and they'll tell your kids all kinds of crazy stuff. My son was traumatized. That's one of the reasons why I went down there, and I gave that woman hell, because two cops, one donut, these guys can tell you, I know my law. So I went down there and told the woman, I said, look, I will hold you personally liable for what you're doing to my son. You've caused him emotional distress. He's recently lost his mother and his brother. He's going through a lot, and you pull him out of class and ask him a bunch of questions he has no idea how to answer. And now my son is worried. He's walking around the house worried. What if they're going to take him out of his home? So you keep this up, and I will hit you with that 1983. And she first tried to say, well, that's not going to go anywhere. I said, it doesn't mean it has to go anywhere, but I will get a lot of stuff in discovery. If you want all your dirty laundry out here in the street, woman, we can do this. And they sent me another letter. I have 4 letters from CPS saying, thank you, Mr. Tatum, for your cooperation. We have reviewed this, and we have found no evidence of neglect or abuse. I'm like, how many of these damn letters are you people going to send me before you leave me the hell alone?
Blows me away. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Dom.
You're welcome. Thank you. Over in the chat, I see Neva 2013, you don't have to let CPS in without a judge's order. Here's the deal, though. It's the same thing, right? It's that pride thing. How many times have you seen cops say, I want your ID? Well, do I have to give it to you? No, because it's not a lawful order, but they will fine. They will just do whatever they can to make things worse. You don't think that CPS is going to do that? Fine, you're right. It's a pride issue, right? It's a pissing match. And remember, people like that are in such a position of power, worse than cops, that they're gods. When it comes up, you don't think that they're going to try to sit there and find some other way to fuck you over and write it how, like, you could simply say this, hey, I respect it. Do you have a judge's order to come in? No, you don't. Listen, I'm not comfortable with that, and I'm all willing to comply, but I would really prefer you get a judge's order, or my lawyer comes out here, we'll do all this, and then let's do this, let's work this together. And they will write, so-and-so was uncooperative, and then, or resisted our directives. They won't put request, because it's, well, you asked them, our directives. And it's not even an order if you say directive. So it blows me away how they'll manipulate anything to fuck you over later on. Absolutely insane. Let me move on here. I want to play this video. I saw this because out of all the harping and shitting on bad cops I do, occasionally I run across a good one that really kind of makes me go, damn, this is awesome. And I found this is out of Hawaii County Police. This is just an academy instructor, Officer Kennison. He gave the recruit class 105 exactly what they needed on day 1. And I just want to play this audio for you.
We talk as instructors, and a lot of things that I have to say is geared towards keeping you alive. I don't care if we lose butts in seats. That's not what we're here for. I'm certainly not here to be your friend. As your instructors, our job is to train you to be formidable police officers. And it goes beyond the physical. It comes down to the emotional, the psychological. What you're prepared to do, what are you willing to do? And are you willing to go above and beyond? This is not just a job. It is a lifestyle. I don't like using the word sacrifice. I don't. The only people that have ever sacrificed are the ones that have lost their lives. They literally sacrificed everything. Like Officer Khalid Law sacrificed everything. Everything else you guys do, you have the privilege of waking up in the morning to invest in you, your future, and in your community. You think you're losing something. You're not. Because every day you come here, you gain knowledge. You investing in yourself so that you can apply yourself to the community. So that you can be a contributing member to this team. That's the reality of it. Now, you can leave here, but reality doesn't change. Adversity is everywhere. And guess what? You don't get to pick the place, the time, the circumstance of what it is. The only thing you have control over is how you're going to face it and how you're going to handle it. That's it. And if you have not ever faced adversity in your life before, guess what? Wake up call. Buckle up.
Now, I told this story. I've told the story several times about when I knew that I wanted to be a police officer. I was working in a 4 a.m. bar, and we were Chicago area nightclub, and it was right at the late 90s, and Limp Bizkit was big, and Kid Rock, and we had so many friggin' fights. It was every night of the week, and we loved fights, and we had Cook County Sheriff's Department policed us because we were unincorporated Cook County, and the guys who were on Cook County, we knew them all, and usually what would happen is a brawl would start in the bar, and I was a bartender, I was not a doorman, but we loved to get in the fights. We'd have, it would be Tony and Raj would stay behind the bar, and Sean and I would jump the bar and get involved, and we just loved to fight. We're two short guys that have really bad short man's complex, and we love to brawl. And usually would be, County would pull up, and we'd go, take this guy, and that'd be it. This is what it is. We got to the point, late 90s, it had to be 99, where we had these horrible, it was the entire dance floor. It wasn't 2 or 3 people, and it wasn't 5, it was 30 people fucking fighting on a dance floor, and the place held about 200-300 people, and it was just not able to be controlled. And it happened 3 nights in a row. And on the 4th night, the owner, Alex, sat there, killed the music. It was 2 a.m. We closed at 4. Turned up the lights. He said, we're fucking done. County shows up. And we're thinking it's the guys that we're always, I got some guy by his lapel and all this shit and whatever. County shows up, and this man walked in that we'd never seen before. He was a different cop. He was a sergeant. Never seen a sergeant. Never seen the chevrons before. Guy walks in, and I don't know to this day who it was. Never seen him before. Never seen him after. They wore brown uniforms, tan pants, and a tan shirt, but it was like a light color brown. It was tan, a little bit darker than tan. And it was wintertime, and he was wearing that thick sweater, the cop sweater, tucked in, gun belt on. This guy, I don't know how tall he was. He could have been 5'8", but I swear to fuck he was 6'5". He walked in, hat right above his fucking field of vision. None of them ever wore their hats. He had the PR-24 baton holstered on his side, walked right in, badge, command presence, and I went, holy shit. I stopped dead in my tracks. I'd never seen a cop like that before. He didn't yell, didn't bark. He walked in, thick fucking mustache, and it's like Moses in the Red Sea. The entire place just stopped. And maybe I'm exaggerating because that's what I remember, but it was like fucking, that was command presence, and I'd never seen that before on any cop I've ever come across. And that's what I wanted to base my model of being a police officer for. Well, as I got hired in my department, you get comfortable, right? And you develop your own style, and that goes away. And we had a guy like this on my department, Tim Mitzvin. He was a cop, Tim Mitzvin. The man was probably one of the most passionate police officers I'd ever fucking known. But we made fun of Tim. He ate, slept, and breathed being a cop, and he was perfect. professional. Uniform was perfectly tailored. Boots were shined. Always shaven. I mean, perfectly shaven. Haircut impeccable. Professional on the street. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. But Tim, you wouldn't fuck around with Tim. Tim has to be the same height as me. 5'7", maybe he's 5'9", but Tim was a fucking bulldog. But he never put that out as like, I'm a badass. You knew it. You knew it. He was a Marine. You knew it. But we made fun of Tim all the time, right? Gung ho, tackleberry, this and that. And it wasn't until later in my career where I'm like, I need to be more like Tim. I need to be more professional. Was the word. I love how this officer uses the word formidable, and it's not imposing. It's literally having all of the skill sets possible to make you unquestionable in your integrity, especially when it comes to being a professional police officer. And I watched this man and I'm like, my God, this is the example that I first saw when I wanted to be, this is why I wanted to be a cop, because that Cook County sheriff that walked in never even knew the man's name. He walked in, part of the Red Sea, other deputies walked in, the crowd fucking just completely quieted down. The fight stopped. He walked out. They took over. That was it. And then Mitzvah. This man reminds me of it. This is the attitude and the energy that this cop is giving off in this video. Officer Kennison is exactly what I mean when I reference professional police officers. This he's not some juiced out of his mind fucking steroid abuser. He is fit. He is what we call squared away. His verbiage is not intense. It's intent. It's professional. He's not motherfucking anybody. He's giving off that command presence that is essential, absolutely essential on every call, where you know that it doesn't mean he's not compassionate with what the plight of the people are going through, but at the same time, he's not going to be bent over as a bleeding heart who can't get the job done. He is razor focused on getting what needs to be done professionally, lawfully, with the proper amount of discretion to make sure the peace is kept. This man, I'm telling you, from the 2-minute video, you watch, you listen, you observe. This is the type of cop we need on the street. And I even said in the video, he's not a cop. He is a professional police officer. And watching this video, I was so blown away at him. I had to do content today. I want to revisit it today. But again, this type of police officer is what we need modeled after in America. Fit, squared away, professional, exuding the right amount of attitude, the right amount of confidence without being a narcissist, the right amount of, he's approachable, but you're also aware enough that, okay, I don't want to fuck around. I don't want to find out. He's not abusive with his words, not abusive with his demeanor. This is what we need more of in the United States of America. So if you go to Hawaii Police over on Instagram and you follow them and you go ahead, I need to follow them, and you support them 100%. Hawaii Police Department, I think that this is what we need more of in America. And that's just my 2 cents on that. Where's it? Let me see. I got to get you guys if I'm missing you. Yeah, my Bluetooth is not working today. All right, so we'll get this going.
Hello?
You got to lower that background for me, please.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you got to lower the background for me.
I turned it off.
Awesome. You're live still. What's going on?
I am live right now?
You are live right now. You called. I missed your call.
Oh, well, I don't really care too much about being live. But
Well, you just called. Why'd you call?
I know. I said I don't care too much. I didn't say there wasn't a purpose for it.
Well, what do you got? Come on, close this out for the night.
Well, I'm struggling with them a lot, buddy. I mean, a lot. I mean, I understand what love is more than most do. I mean, love is abused in so many ways. It's just ridiculous.
Are you talking about the parent? Are you talking about the parent video?
I'm talking about all your videos.
Okay,
I'm talking about news and purpose.
Yeah, what do you got?
Okay, well, I love society. Okay, it's a beautiful thing. And there's rules and regulations that have been set forth. I mean, we got the Constitution. Every state has a Constitution. Most countries have their own Constitution. And everything that provides for that Constitution is the ethics of representation. You get it?
Sure, go ahead, please.
All right, and it just bothers me so much reading the comments on no matter your YouTube channel or all the other YouTube channels. If I was a mastermind of recalling names, I will name all of them. If you're able to get access to my account, you will see I'm subscribed to all of them to be alerted to it for a purpose. Okay? Not a purpose to do what they call, what is it called? When you clown somebody, troll.
Okay.
When you troll somebody, that's freedom. You're free to do that. That's part of the Constitution. You can take it to limits. But representation, I mean, when I first started watching your channel, I'm looking at a big guy. I mean, I'm a big guy. And it bothers me. I'm visually aware of everything in society, and it's probably part of my downfall of why I don't live as well as I do. But to see the American flag, let's say, behind you all the time, and then, your representation, all the bad that's in the police force that you were involved in and that you're showing is wrong for society. And, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, he took the oath. He was able to take the oath. The first thing in my life at the age of 14, I wanted to be a United States Marshal. And that was told politely because of my life, the way I was born, okay? My individuality, okay? It's not a disability, it's my individuality, okay? I was told, well, you don't request to be a United States Marshal. They find you. They find the right person. I was bullshitted, basically. Yeah. Because, I found out also at the age of 14, because when I was doing that, I wanted to be a United States Marshal because I stood before a judge because I was doing the Boy Scout Constitution merit badge. Okay, and the judge took notice that there's 3 Boy Scouts in his courtroom wearing their uniforms, being proud, like anybody that takes an oath to this country should always be proud. Okay? And then the same, and he brought us back to the courtroom with our scoutmaster, had us raise our right hand to always honor. Now, he didn't say, he didn't swear us into the Constitution, always honor the Constitution. And 14-year-olds are impressionable, aren't they?
Yeah, very much, very much.
Okay, I appreciate the non-interrupting and let me go.
Of course, of course. You're not babbling, you're making a point. Go ahead.
Okay, and I'm trying to respect you.
You respect me by speaking what's important to you. I don't need you to agree with me. I don't need you to disagree with me. I need you to be genuine. That's what I give a shit about. Isn't that we lost the ability to have somebody say inflammatory shit about you and go, okay, that's their view. Like Tatum. Tatum shouldn't give a rat fuck about what I say, but those are my words and my view. So I don't care whatever you have to say is important. And I'm one of the few people that actually has a platform that's opened up. People call and go, Izzo, you're full of shit. Okay, awesome. I want to hear what you have to say. So whatever you say, go ahead.
I'm going to try to get right back because I lose concentration quite easy because of the way I was born. So anyway, when I first started watching you, oh my God, it brought do you understand how bodies can produce the endorphins, which is a drug, okay? You understand that. It's called adrenaline.
Sure.
Okay, and it's abused all the time. It's abused is because, one, you're not allowing yourself to be sensitized to it, to use it for the good it can be. Because it gives you strength. You hear stories of a mama picking a car up off a child, that's endorphins. That's the energy. That's the good to be able to have that power when you need it. But it's being abused. And it's being abused at the foundation of ethics. And I'm liking you more. I'm a subscriber. I do hit the like button. I do consciously try to do it in the middle because I understand from the algorithm that helps you more.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
On the constitutional, what is it called? Not democracy, commerce part. Okay, I'm trying to help you on the commerce part because it's part of the Constitution.
Appreciate that.
But when I'm looking at you and I'm going back each time, and it drives me crazy to fight this battle in my head. Have you heard of Delete Laws?
Yeah, I know Chili.
You do know him. I thought you made comments and videos that you talked about.
Yeah,
him.
Chili interviewed me in 2021. He asked me to do a podcast with him, and I did. And this is my opinion. When I first saw Chili, I think he is unbelievably intelligent. I think he is a walking Rain Man of the encyclopedia when it comes down to constitutional law. And I don't know if he still has it up, but in his garage or somewhere in his home, he has all 4 of his walls with law, articles, like the red string all over the shit. The man is probably one of the most intelligent people when it comes down to understanding constitutional law. I think he is a scumbag with how he purposely goes out, and he just because he can doesn't mean he should. He has every right to go out, speak his mind, do whatever, but he is, instead of trying to solve the problem, he is purposely going out and being a complete cocksucker just to get views and likes. And I don't respect him, especially when he gets arrested and he cries in court after asking so tough. So what he's doing, it has a massive value. How he's doing it, I think he's a piece of dog shit.
Exactly. I won't disagree with anything you said, but that leads me to the sad point of what I feel like I need to say to you, and it's all about ethics. It's when Delete Laws is using free speech, abusing free speech.
Can you abuse free speech? Let's establish that. Can you abuse free speech aside from yelling fire in a crowded movie theater?
In my opinion, absolutely yes. You can abuse free speech.
How? Give me an example, please.
And it only falls in the category of those that take an oath to the Constitution. Now, understand how this can make sense, and I'm trying to make it make sense.
Okay.
Those that take an oath to the United States Constitution during their and when they're on duty, they have to control that free speech to safeguard everybody else's rights. So they lose free speach. Like, you dumbass son of a bitch, why did you run from me? And I feel sorry for saying dumbass, sorry son of a bitch, because I'm not a cusser. But when I cuss, I do it. 1, I'm not in control of the dopamine. 2, I'm not in control of my emotions. I got to roll.
Can you give me an example of abuse of free speech?
Well, I just did. When a police officer, I was pretending like I was a police officer, and I just apprehended somebody that ran from me.
I kind of agree. That's misconduct as far as I'm concerned. You know, you're going to let that shit out. I've called people motherfuckers and stuff. You know, they make you run and this and that. You piece of shit, you made me run. Yeah, that's conduct unbecoming. You have to be able to. So, but it's not. It's still free speech. So but again, yeah, it's conduct unbecoming. Go ahead.
But a lot of YouTubers are double thumping on you know, they're doing this because it's a natural right to film police, you know, to document, to do news. But the importance to awaken other people to safeguard the purpose of the Constitution is posterity, right? Am I not right? The whole purpose of the Constitution is for our posterity.
Okay, continue.
Do you agree with that?
I don't know. Because I'll tell you why. I don't know the definition of posterity.
Okay, well, to form a more perfect union. How about that?
Sure. Isn't that the opening line? We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. Correct.
Okay, establish these and establish a set code of ethics to be able to uphold the pathway to success on forming that union. Anything outside, if you use free speech while you're in duty to serve the country, you're abusing your authority, yes, and it should come with an extreme penalty. I mean, I'm all for publicly stripping.
I'll agree with you.
Oath takers. I don't care what kind of oath taker you are. If it's the oath to the United States, public stripping of a uniform and authority should be a mandatory thing after so many times of not being of control.
Oh, I'm fine.
You're-
I'm fine with that.
you're-
I call for public execution of cops who commit treason and are tried and convicted. I call for death penalty. Posterity, just so you know, you're right. All the definition of posterity, all future generations of people. 100% of the Constitution is for posterity. You're correct.
So, I mean, I'm having a hard time each time I watch your videos, and you know, it's very seldom I click off early, and if I do, it's because I'm being outraged, and then I quickly go right back to it.
Good. That means I'm doing something right. Did I outrage you today?
Well, yeah, every time you swear, every time you use free speech, and when you're trying to represent something that's good for this country, is wrong, in my opinion.
Fucking A.
You wear a suit. You're trying to be
today.
respectable when you have that black suit on all the time,
Yeah.
and you're sitting up with good posture. You're representing.
Sure.
Represent with good conduct that represents what is good for society.
I'm terribly
So you're a
sorry.
teacher.
That's a you problem. If my language bothers you, that's a you problem. If I'm saying there's a difference between
If you wasn't
Ready?
doing what you
I
were doing
understand.
for society, it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay,
for
there's a difference between I love this country and I motherfucking love this country. The words I use are the words I use to flavor how I'm feeling for that moment. And I can never, let me explain this to you very clearly. I can never get my point across how outraged I am that a man calls himself Officer Brandon Tatum and then vilifies someone for inclement weather statute, which doesn't exist, but then endorses a cop breaking the law simply because he was outraged over a football game. It's disingenuous for me to say, I don't like Brandon Tatum and his hypocrisy. It is imperative, I say, as a representative of somebody who cares about this profession of law enforcement, to say, I fucking loathe that cocksucker, Brandon Tatum, because it shows my complete vile disdain for what he's doing in support of police criminal behavior. If that's a problem you have, I'm not the guy for you to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to watch you. I mean, you can't, you know.
I
But
appreciate that.
I'm trying to get my point across, so you get your point across more effectively for a better society.
I appreciate that. Society, you know what? I'm not for everybody and never claimed to be. And those who hear me are going to hear me. I really appreciate you, regardless of what I say and how I say it. You still hear what I'm saying. That speaks more about your character than it does mine.
Out of curiosity, because I'm 100% dedicated to my country and doing research and being informed, so I control how much ignorance I allow to get out. Because I think we all are ignorant of, you know, things we did in our past and say, oh, damn, I did that. That was pretty ignorant of me to not to know better. But now so I lost my train of thought. How do you think society's coming? I mean, do you believe in the theory that life repeats itself?
I think society is so lost, which is why I never had kids. I'm not about to subject children to this fucking world.
Well, that's our posterity. I mean, you know, that's what it's all about, is the future generations.
Yeah, thank God.
What do you think of Civil War? How far away do you think we are from Civil War?
To be honest, I don't think we're going to get to that point. I don't think, because you know
don't?
what? No, because we don't have the forward. I don't think that our government will allow it, and I think that we're a generation that sits back and pushes swipe on our phone to see what the next blue check mark thinks about something. So even if your favorite influencer, right? You got the Brandon Tatums, you got the Jonathan Harris Jr. or whatever his name is. You've got the Andy Frisellas, all the people out there that everybody listens to and goes, harumph, harumph, harumph. You got Stu Peters, all those people, and everyone's got their following. Which one's going to come? Which one's going to come together and say, this is the 50% side and you're the other 50% side? See, the problem is everybody's got a side, right? Conservative or liberal. And then they've all got their favorite conservative they follow. And when their favorite conservative says, hey, that person is actually a liberal, well, then they turn on each other within their own group. There will never be civil war, because out of the two sides, Those two sides are so divided in their own fucking way that they will never come together to unify to take care of it. You've got, I'm staying out of the whole damn Israel shit, but you've got conservatives who support Israel and you've got conservatives who condemn Israel. Well, that just divided who's a patriot and who isn't. So no, there is no unity amongst either side. So you'll never have civil war because no side can come together to fucking declare it. And then the bottom line is, who declared on who? It's not the blue and the gray anymore. You don't have that. So no, there won't be civil war.
Maybe civil war is not really the platform that I look at it as a civil war, but what if a group of militia? Because I'm sure
you should have militia. You should have militias in every state, county, and town. But look at Illinois. Illinois' law by the governor simply says you cannot form a militia without express permission of the governor of the state of Illinois. How is that not a constitutional violation? How?
Well, I think each individual is a militia in their own state. I mean, in their own mind. Sure. It should be individual, not a group. I'm not talking about a group. Let's take somebody. I mean, I'm not a millionaire myself by no means, but all my clients, 90% of my clients, not 90, let's be honest, 45%, I would say, was regular citizen customers, and the rest were millionaires, and I had one billionaire as a client. But if one person that had fairly good wealth was wrongfully done, and they fought the courts and lost because you went through the system that protects the unethical, the ones that don't want to hold to the ethics needed to uphold the oath, and you lose all your resources, and you still didn't win the battle, and decides, I'm a victim of society. Everybody else can be a victim of society and fall into the same trap. Now, I fell into a victim as, when I get back to the story about when I was 14, at the end of 14, in December, I was at a football rally, and I was sick. I had the flu. I was in miserable shape. And I told my ride that I'm going to the car, and he gave me the keys to get in. And I look around as I'm walking past, a 50-gallon trash barrel, and I scanned, because I was raised to be polite and respectful. And I scanned my surroundings, and I snorted all that snot in my head, and I just spit it in the trash can. And I'm walking to the car, and lo and behold, a heavy hand landed on my shoulder and spun me around and grabbed me by both arms and literally puking in my face of snorting at him like he was a pig. And then he spins me back around again. I stuttered a few little words out at 14, and he spun me around and threw me in handcuffs and just started saying, I'll take you around back and beat you with a billy club. And I stiffened up with my hands behind my back, and he just stood straight, looked him square in the eyes. I said, you better take me now, and you better beat me to death. He ended up putting me out of handcuffs. I had a conversation with my dad, and Dad says, you're going to have to choose your battles. He says, you will lose a lot of resources to fight this battle with what happened.
I hear you. I hear you. And I appreciate your call. You brought up a lot of good points tonight. So,
but I'm just trying to tell you, self-control is an amazing thing when you do it for a purpose.
Self-control is why.
You choose to use the words that offend so many people.
What's that?
You choose to use foul language while you're representing such a wonderful document that you claim is a good document.
Yeah, that's freedom of speech, and I don't give a fuck. What's your point?
Yeah, but you're doing it
maybe.
Out of context.
How is it? I'm doing it.
Talk about the ethics that involves in the Constitution.
Ethics are subjective, aren't they? You could sit there and, my God, let me ask you a question. Do you ever make pasta?
Yes, I do it the cheap way. I fill it with boiling water. I never made pasta.
Okay, so wait a second. Do you use store-bought marinara in the can?
Yes.
Well, fuck you. That's unethical. How dare you disrespect Italian food that way? See what I mean? It's subjective.
No, that's laziness.
No, it's subjective. It's ethics. Your ethics are horrible. So I appreciate you. I value what you have to say. That's your opinion. You continue to do things the way you do. I'm online putting myself out there, my number out there, and letting people have 21 minutes of phone time to voice their opinion. Are you?
Oh, I appreciate it. I really do.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I can't believe we're still live. I think
I told you, I'll close you out. No, close you out for tonight. I appreciate it. We're still live. You have valuable things to say, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, to all the listeners out there, morals make a difference when you're fighting for something good. And anybody that believes me, I hope they let you know that there is some truth in what I say about morally right to represent.
Again, too, it's how do I say this?
I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm trying
No,
to.
you're also
use what's instilled in me with the learning of Latin, and that's one of the conversations our
Latin, yes,
I had with Chili online is how he talks about Latin all the time and how much it influences all different languages and stuff. Just a few languages that Latin hasn't influenced.
Yeah, the only thing I remember from Latin in high school is Doma he caput in fonts. Give me head, baby. So I appreciate your call. Thanks, man.
Where the ethics fall.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. I do.
All right, thank you. It is what it is. Fucking A. Eric, it's a block for bench pressing. So when I don't come down for my shoulder, so it's just improve the powerlifting aspect of it. I put up 300 the other day. I'm still doing good. I'm gonna try it for 315 this week again. My squat's still at 405. Got a ways to go to hit 500. Guys, that's the show. Do not forget to go over to hp-trt.com. hp-trt.com. If you're going to contact them, in the contact section, you type in IZZO20, and it's a discount, 20%. For the love of God. And they do deal with female hormones as well, too. If you haven't had your hormones checked, get them checked. No painful doctor visits and none of that. Look at the doctor goes in and goes, here's some cream. 50 milligrams per week, which does nothing. Won't even get your dick hard. For the love of God, get your hormones checked. Human Performance Team works with what you need for your body, not some cookie cutter. Here's 100 milligrams. And, do this once a week or come see me every 2 weeks. I'm not making any medical claims, but just get your hormones checked. Use the code IZZO. Other than that, guys, have a great week. Support the show. Help me move forward with some stuff. And yes, if Eric spent all this time in the chat as well, too, 2 Cops, 1 Donut, go ahead and make sure you check them out. They're live often too with Police Review as well. Somebody that, I respect who, in a world full of shit out there, we got people actually out there talking about who are still active. So, and he hasn't been corrupted. He's brass and he hasn't been fucking corrupted yet. Thank God. Support the show. Click on one of the links below. Patreon, or buy me a coffee, become a member, and you can join me Sundays live for discovering what we want to talk about for that week. And other than that, I'll see you during the week, and I'll see you next Friday live for more Cop Talk Live on patrol. And then you guys can call in too and tell me not to swear, but it ain't going to fucking happen. I'll see you guys later.